Alright, so here's a video to help you with inverse proportion, and what we see here is a table of values on the left hand side, and there's a connection between the x and the y values, and we've got to find the two missing y values here. But rather than guessing what the rule might be, the question gives us a clue. So it is known that y is inversely proportional to x. So as soon as we see this, we're going to write down an equation, y equals to k divided by x. Alright, so we unpack that a little bit. Inversely proportional to, it's always going to be k divided by, and then inversely proportional to x, this is going to be what goes on the denominator. So once we have this first part done, this is the answer for part A. So part A says write down an equation linking y, x and k. So here we go, we've got y, we've got x, we've got k. Right, and this little k here is called that special thing, the constant of proportionality. Here, sometimes you might see this equation written down as y is proportional, inversely proportional to x, but I think it's better if you go straight to writing down the actual equation here. So that's part A. Here's part B. Now we really want to find this magical value of k, the constant of proportionality. And we can do this by choosing a pair of xy coordinates from the table. So maybe we want to choose x is 2, y is 50. Or maybe we choose x is 10, y is 10. Or maybe we choose x is 5, y is 20. It doesn't matter which pair you actually choose. So I'm going to do it in two different ways. First of all, let me choose the x is 5 and y is 20. So down here, I'm going to put if x equals 5 and y is 20, let's go ahead and substitute. So substitute into the equation. All right, and substitution literally means to replace. So we're going to replace the x here with the 5, and we are going to replace the y with 20. And we have to solve that for k. Now you'll remember from solving equations that k is being divided by 5, so then the 5 comes to the side and it multiplies. So the solution here is k equals 5 times 20, which equals to 100. So therefore the equation is y equals not k anymore, but 100 divided by x. There we go. And we could have done that using any other pair of values that we have. And in fact, we'll just go and test this to see if it works. If x equals 2, if we substituted 2 in here, you'd have 100 divided by 2 is 50, which would be exactly the correct answer. And if we wanted to substitute 10 in place of the x, 10 goes in here, and then 100 divided by 10 would in fact be 10. So it looks like we've got the right equation. It works for all three of those values. So the final thing is part C. Part C. Let's go and read part C. Use our equation that we've just written down to find the missing values of y in the table. So I'm going to be quite organised here. I'm going to make this when x equals 20 and when x equals 40. Well, now you can see that this is the equation linking x and y. So we just have to go and substitute the x for 20 and the x for 40 and then calculate the final answer. So let's go ahead. So to get the y value, we do 100 divided by the x value. So this is 5. And here, to get the y value, we do 100 divided by the x value, and again you can reach for a calculator, no problem, but I think I can do that. That's 2.5. So there you go. Let's just summarize. We have a table of values connecting x and y. We're given a big clue as to the relationship. We write down the relationship with y, x and k. That's the first step. The second step is we try and work out what the value of k is. We can only do that by substituting an xy pair of values from the table. And it doesn't actually matter which xy pair of values you choose. You will always get the same value for k. K is 100. And finally, we have now the link between x and y, the equation linking x and y, and then we can use that to find any missing values in the table. So I hope that helps. Now it's over to you. Once you've watched this video, maybe taken down some notes, these are the 3 questions for you to try. So you can pause the video and in your exercise books, go ahead and write down all the working out for these 3 questions. Now remember, we need it to be as detailed as the example that I've just given and worked your way through. You can obviously pause and replay the video, but this is the structure on this particular frame that I want to see for each of those 3 questions. Have fun.